All right. How's it going? It's a weekend. As you see, I got my weekend threads on. Nice day. Don't mean to ruin it for you, but I have a book. It's a little depressing, a little insane. It's by Seth Harp. It's called The Fort Bragg Cartel, Drug Trafficking and Murder in the Special Forces. I've been reading it, like, just can't stop reading this thing for the past several days. And if you watched President Trump give a speech the other day to high-ranking military officials and officers, and you're terrified, this is gonna scare you even more, because these are some of the people who, he might have rappelling out of planes into Chicago right now. We're talking about special ops guys, guys with 100 plus kills, many of them who brag about that kind of stuff. Guys like, let's see, and it's about their drug habits and just a lot of the drug dealing, unsolved homicides, anything crazy you could imagine. Here's one guy: legal meds given to him by an army doctor were what originally engendered his taste for the clean, cold rush of euphoric confidence that stimulants trigger in the brain. By the early 2010s, he'd been gun using cocaine. By 2018, he was smoking crack on a daily basis and regularly ingested MDMA, smoked crystal meth, snorted powdered heroin, and even taken to inserting speedballs, a dangerous mix of heroin and coke, into his rectum. It goes on and on. I mean, this is, and just to give you an idea of what special forces we're dealing with, like what's going on here, there's about 70,000. We're talking about Delta Force, and this is not the guys who talk to the press a lot. Well, Green Berets would be included in the 70,000, but at the top of that, some of the operators who this book's talking about are, these elite forces that basically answer to no one, operate with unbelievable impunity, run death squads, and a lot of this book is about how the opioid problem that we have in Massachusetts and in America right now came from what the United States government, of course, produced in Afghanistan and allowed to happen with impunity from the warlords that it was in business with. And some of the numbers in here are just absolutely unbelievable. The amount of Afghan land under poppy cultivation more than tripled from 2003 to 2004. And of course, even though the overwhelming majority of heroin at that time, when the Taliban was pushed back, was coming from Afghanistan, the United States government continued to blame Mexico, just like it still does today. And not that Mexico doesn't have its own issues, but you got to really read up. I really refuse to argue with anyone who's not at least trying to understand what's actually happening. But this book is absolutely terrifying. Still, I highly recommend picking it up. It's about how a lot of your tax dollars get spent, but it's more important than that. It's about roving death squads, paid for by your tax dollars and done with your name. So enjoy. Have a great weekend.